Now let's look at exercise 6. So exercise 6, we're going to do some more practice with bad debt expense. And here we're going to use the allowance method to account for those uncollectibles. And specifically, we'll start with percent of sales. So it says during its first year of operations, Spring Garden plans earned net credit sales of $322,000. Industry experience suggests that bad debts will amount to 2% of net credit sales, and at December 31st, accounts receivable totaled $36,000. And they use the allowance method to account for uncollectibles. So they're asking us to journalize the bad debt expense using the percent of sales method. So it says that 2% of net credit sales are going to be deemed uncollectible. So here we're going to take $322,000 times 0.02, and that's going to give us our bad debt expense. So that comes out to $6,440. That's our bad debt expense. So here at December 31st, we're going to record bad debt expense of $6,440, and the credit is going to be to allowance for bad debts. Okay, so remember here, I added a 0. So here, when we use the allowance method, this is what's preferred by GAAP because it follows the matching principle, and we'll use that allowance for bad debts. That's our contra asset account, and it reduces the balance in our receivables. Okay, so this was to record our estimate of what we think we're not going to be able to collect. All right, then it says to report accounts receivable on the balance sheet. How would it look if we were to record that? So here we would have our accounts receivable. So, and that would be $36,000. And then we would have less that allowance for bad debts, and this is assuming that that's the only allowance we've recorded. So then we would have a net of the two. I'm just updating that format. And that would be the balance that we would be seeing on our balance sheet, and that's our net accounts receivable. Now, sometimes this portion of the calculation is actually in the notes to the financial statement, so then we would just have the net number, or it could be listed on the face of the statement as well. All right, so if you have any questions, please let me know or post your questions in the discussion board.